We can't lie, we were all scared of a bridge at one point of our lives. Whether that be the feeling of falling off or even the bridge collapsing, bridges have always given us a sense of uncertainty. When bad things happen on bridges, it seems like the energy doesn't stray too far, so when you cross them, you have no choice but to face whatever is in front of you. I'm your host Andrew, and today we're going to talk about the top 10 scary bridges you don't want to cross. And let's get right into this. Coming in at a number 10 spot, we have the old Applewhite Bridge. The old Applewhite Bridge in San Antonio, Texas, otherwise known as the Donkey Lady Bridge, is haunted by a creature none of us would want to encounter. And the story goes that back in the 1950s, there was a young woman who got caught in a fire, which resulted in her whole body being disfigured and extremely scarred. Many people believed her husband started it, but regardless, because of the fire, her fingers fused together, leaving her with the physical appearance of a donkey. Some people who have crossed this bridge have told stories of hoof-like marks that have been left on their cars, as well as seeing the badly disfigured lady herself looking at them in the nearby woods. But hey, apparently you can also summon her. You do this by stopping at the bridge, honking your horn while shouting for the donkey lady out loud. Don't know why you would feel the need to summon her, but the instructions are right there, so do as you please. At a number 9 spot, we have Emily's Bridge. Located in Stowe, Vermont, this 50-foot long bridge is the place where a young woman took her own life sometime in the mid-1800s. The Emily's Bridge, or the Gold Brook Covered Bridge, was built in 1844, and ever since this incident, many cars try to avoid this bridge at all costs. The legend goes that a young woman named Emily arranged to meet her lover at this bridge. When she arrived, she waited a few minutes for the man to arrive, but minutes became hours, and hours became days. And eventually the woman just stood there, knowing that no man will ever love her. So she decided to take her own life by hanging herself from the rafters of this bridge. Her sadness has apparently turned into anger because some who have driven past this bridge have reported that their cars come out scratched with what seems to be like human fingernails. At a number 8 spot, we have Satches Covered Bridge. Located in Pennsylvania, this bridge was used by both the Confederate and Union forces during the Battle of Gettysburg. It was originally built in 1852 by David S. Stoner in order to allow vehicles and people to cross. But as time went on, the bridge would go through many horrific events. For example, when the Battle of Gettysburg started in July 1863, the entire town of Gettysburg was a war zone, and since many of the soldiers were very young at the time, there were many times they would try to run and avoid this brutal war. One story goes that 3 Confederate troops tried to abandon their post by wearing Union clothing, and they would march near the Satches Covered Bridge. But it didn't take long until their disguise was blown, and to make an example out of them, all 3 men were hanged on the bridge's wooden support beams. According to many visitors, 3 headless bodies were spotted floating on the bridge, and some of their photographs appear to show the ghostly apparitions of the 3 Confederate troops. At a number 7 spot, we have the Eunice Williams Covered Bridge. In the rolling hills of Deerfield, Massachusetts is a bridge that has a history like no other. And after you find out, it's no surprise that people think this place is extremely haunted. So on February 29, 1704, 300 warriors from the French army, alongside their allies in the Abenaki and Mohawk tribes, crept into Deerfield, resulting in around 56 deaths and 112 prisoners. The person that bridge's name is after, Eunice Williams, was among those who was captured. However, she was captured only a day after giving birth, so when it came time to march to Canada, she couldn't do it physically. So on the first day, she collapsed while crossing the Green River in Greenfield near this bridge. And due to strict orders, she was executed with a single tomahawk throw right in front of her husband and her 5 children. Ever since this bridge was erected over the river in 1834, many people who have crossed claim that Eunice Williams' ghost is still in that area. Others have claimed to see her spirit in the waters of the Green River below, or just by the dam a little bit upstream. At a number 6 spot, we have San Juanico Bridge. When Typhoon Yolanda hit the country of the Philippines and almost erased vast areas in the Leyte and Tacloban areas, legends say that the longevity and strength of the San Juanico Bridge joining the 2 islands is due to the countless demonic rituals done on the bridge that involved a lot of human sacrifice. Former First Lady Imelda Marcos allegedly had conspired the kidnapping of street kids or random babies from this area, and they had offered them in a demonic ritual, mixing their blood with the concrete of this bridge. At the time, Imelda headed the construction of the bridge and reportedly performed the sacrifice upon a fortune teller who said children's blood was needed for the project's completion. Bodies of the sacrificed children were then thrown down the bridge, so whenever there were haunting incidents on the bridge, people will remember the story about the unknown children's sacrifice here. In the hump of our list, we have the Ankol Bridge. Although it is known as a waterside recreation area, Ankol in Indonesia is said to have contained one of Jakarta's most tragic and dangerous spirits. The ghost that haunts Ankol's Guyong Bridge is said to be that of a beautiful young woman named Siti Arya, who was kidnapped and murdered in the early 1800s after she rejected the advances of a powerful old man. Legend says that her body was left in a rice field right by where the Guyong Bridge now stands, now referred to as the sweetheart of Ankol Bridge, Siti's ghost, which is also sometimes called Mariam, and she is said to appear on the bridge at night wearing a white dress or sometimes a black kabaya. The urban legends about her say that she has caused several drivers going past the bridge to get into very fatal accidents. At a number 4 spot, we have Harbour Bridge. Located in Auckland is the Auckland Harbour Bridge. The 8-lane stretch of road is New Zealand's largest bridge, but it also could be one of the most haunted ones. Story goes that in the early 1980s, a man was found dead just underneath this bridge. After an autopsy, it was discovered that he had drowned after an accident caused him to fall into the water. Now some people who have visited the bridge have reported to see the apparition of this man either walking on top of the bridge or swimming below with only his face peeking out of the water, staring right into you. And this might not be the only ghost at the bridge, because it's said that during its construction, 4 workers fell to their deaths under the bridge as well. Maybe one of these ghosts is that worker. So if you happen to be driving over this bridge, I would advise you to not look down and be sure to stop for nothing. At a number 3 spot, with the Cody Road Bridge. The Cody Road Bridge in northern Kentucky is a railroad bridge that runs over Cody Road, right at the point where a creek runs underneath the road. So you have the bridge running above you and the road dips somewhat below you. With the creek and the low road, this area is prone to flooding when the creek rises. Flooding here is such a common occurrence, swinging gates have been permanently placed on either side of the creek, marked with stop signs to be closed whenever the waters start to rise. The legends of this area revolve around a woman that passed away in one of the following ways, depending on who you ask. The first one is by taking her own life, either by jumping in front of an oncoming train on the bridge or by jumping from the bridge. The second one is running for help from her burning home that was near the bridge but got hit by a train in the process. And the last one is getting caught in the current when the road quickly flooded below the bridge, either while staying in her car or while talking. Reports from this area are often of a woman in white walking the bridge, sometimes crying, and others say she is yelling for help. Orbs, phantom trains, and disembodied voices are also reported here. And some locals refer to the phantom as Pigface, supposedly referring to her injuries after going head to head with the train. At a number 2 spot, we have Bloody Bride Bridge. The Bloody Bride Bridge has a wonderful name, doesn't it? Located in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, is said to be one of the most haunted bridges in the entire state. I mean, just by reading its name, it's a no-brainer. However, more specifically, this is named Highway 66 Bridge, which doesn't make a difference as well. Legend goes that one evening, a bride and a groom drove over the bridge on their wedding night. When they were crossing, something happened, causing the couple to get into a fatal car accident on that very bridge. The bride ended up passing away, but nobody ever found out what happened to the groom. Ever since that event, the bride has been reported to still be walking back and forth on the bridge. She's seen wearing the exact clothing she wore when she passed away, which was a bloody wedding gown. Now people who have gone over this bridge have reported similar strange things. This includes many people believing they hit a girl on the bridge, but when they walk out to inspect it, there is just nothing there. However, when they arrive back to their car, they find that the woman is sitting in the back seat. At a number 1 spot, we have the Bunnyman Bridge. In 1904, not far from this bridge in Fairfax Station, Virginia, was a mental asylum. Nearby residents didn't like the fact that mental patients were near their new homes, so they had it shut down. While the patients of the asylum were being transported, their bus crashed and all were found except for one, by the name of Douglas Griffin, who disappeared into the nearby woods. After this disappearance, dead bunnies would be littered all over the forest floors and trees, with some attempts to consume them. And then finally on Halloween night, Douglas Griffin struck and killed a group of teenagers that were hanging out near this bridge. He proceeded to gut and hang them as they were bunnies he had hunted. A police report soon came in about a man in all white with a bunny mask throwing a hatchet at a car, which would eventually give way to this urban legend. Well, these are the top 10 scary bridges you don't want to cross. What do you guys think about this list? Leave a comment down below, but don't forget to like and subscribe this video for some more content. I'm your host Andrew, and I hope you guys have a scary day.